And we are podcasting. Smithy, the Shipyard looks a little different today, does it not?
It does. Something happened. Did somebody come in and bling our podcasting studio?
I think they did. We are coming live today. Very special day. We're here at SDCCU Stadium with the president of the fleet, Jeff Garner.
Hey guys.
Hey,
thanks
Jeff,
for having me. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming on board.
We really appreciate you coming on
See
board.
what you did there.
Hey. But yeah, thanks for having us in. This is really, really cool for us. As you know, we've been huge Fleet fans. We've agreed on everything that you guys have done so far.
Absolutely.
And
we'll get there.
We'll get there. But yeah, a big week around the AAF today. A lot of news. Biggest news, of course, coming out of San Diego. It's our guy Josh Johnson getting pulled up to the Washington Redskins.
It's bittersweet, I think, but congrats to Josh.
Yeah, but Jeff, you had some interesting insight on Twitter today.
Sure. The questions start, right?
Yes.
What does that mean?
What does it mean?
What do we do? What does this mean? So some of that is, that's part of what this league is here for. It's a showcase league. You guys have heard me use that terminology before. It's an opportunity for these players to be seen in game action. The level of talent, obviously, is going to be very high.
Yes.
These are very close to NFL, if not former NFL athletes, and most of them are trying to get back to the NFL. And so this is just a perfect example of that, of how good the talent's going to be, and that you have a player who, before he ever plays a game in the Alliance and with the fleet, is going to go back to the NFL.
Yeah, and I think it's probably directly related to, yeah, he got worked out, but there had been a lot of buzz around Josh and his association coming up with the fleet and his anticipation of being the first pick, and then it happened. And, unfortunately, the injuries happened out there in Redskins, and he got called right up. So I think that's a very, very good example of what this league's going to do in the long run. So
exactly. It's fantastic. We couldn't be happier for him. He's a great guy. Yeah, obviously, playing at USD, he's a good guy with the local ties, and we wish him all the best in Washington with the Redskins. I hope he has a great remainder of his of the year there.
Totally.
Honestly, we have to wait to see what that obligation is with the NFL. When that obligation is complete, we retain his alliance rights for 3 years. So when he's done playing in the NFL, then he would return to the fleet.
Nice.
And that could be this year, but it could also not if they want to sign him to a 2-year deal. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, if he signed to a 2-year deal or longer, good for him. That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Of course we would want him back, and it would be good for us. But ultimately, our players having success in the NFL is a good thing for us too.
Yeah, and Burko's no slouch either, so I'm excited to see him play. I think he's going to be awesome. He's got a cannon for an arm. We've been seeing the highlights of him pop up all over Twitter, and I'm excited to see that guy play.
It makes the draft picks make a lot more sense now too.
Yeah.
Sure.
There was a little bit of a curveball during the draft. All the media we saw leading up to the draft was that it was going to be the first round, the protector pick, and then everyone gets a chance to pick if they didn't protect. And then it was going to snake. So second round would be San Antonio and then back down to San Diego. But that's not how it worked out. San Diego.
I think I had heard that too.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in Las Vegas. I was in San Diego with you guys. And I think we were learning that together while we were watching.
Yeah, everyone was looking around like, wait, what? We're picking again? And then we get, of course, Burko. So that's awesome. And he's, of course, played with the Chargers for a while. And
welcome to new.
Yeah.
Right? New league, new team.
There you go.
New. So we'll have some of those growing pains. Ultimately, it worked out great for the league, and we got a ton of exposure.
Yeah.
And we got some great players in the league from that. And then for us, we put together a great stable of quarterbacks. And as you mentioned, with Josh going to the Redskins, it doesn't. We're still left with some great quarterbacks on the roster. And if Josh comes back, great. If he doesn't, good for him. And we'll continue to put a good product on the field. And so we're excited about that too. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it plays out. That's the fun of sports, right? You got to see what happens.
Totally,
100%.
That's why they play the games.
Yeah. So there's a fan fest coming up. That was December 13th.
It's December 13th, so it's next Thursday.
But that's only for single season ticket holders, if I understand it correctly.
Actually, it's going to be for everybody.
For everybody?
So rather than a fan fest, we're calling it Meet the Fleet.
Meet the Fleet.
Nice.
And so it's an opportunity for all of our fans to come out and meet the team, get some autographs. So we are going to have an exclusive period for season ticket holders. So they're going to get from 6 to 7. So it's just our season ticket holders with the team to get some autographs. You don't have the long lines. You don't. It's a little bit easier to get through. Spend some more quality time with the players. We're going to do the autograph session on the field, so they'll be able to walk down on the field. That'll be pretty cool. They're not going to be out on the playing field, but along the sidelines and stuff. So it'll be a fun atmosphere. And then from 7 to 9, it'll open up to the public.
Awesome.
And so we'll have everybody in. So we'll do some intros. We're going to do a lot of fun stuff for families and kids. We're still finishing plans for all of those things, but the time is set. The team's ready to go. It's training camp starts on Monday, and so they've got a bunch of different things to do here in San Diego with physicals and some different training things. They're going to get their playbook, spend some time with the coaches, do a couple walkthroughs. But the 13th will be an opportunity for everybody to come out and actually start to put some faces with the names, the roster, and get to meet these guys.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to it. I think Smithy and I are happy we are season ticket holders right now, so we get the little early access.
And actually, we are going to extend this. So until Friday at 5 o'clock, this Friday at 5 o'clock, which is the 7th, I think.
Yes.
At 5 o'clock, if you purchase season tickets until that time, then you would be included in that 6 to 7 time. And so you'll get a separate ticket that will get you in early for that period of time. So if you're not a season ticket holder, you can still have a chance to get in on the 13th on the Meet the Fleet.
And we'll give you all the best links in the show notes on where to go to get that.
Numbers, emails, social security numbers, all that good stuff.
Scouting reports.
Got to mention David Bowling here. He's one of our favorite guys in the organization. He's one of the account executives, and if you get a chance to talk to David, highly recommend him. He's a good guy. Bud as well.
Awesome.
He's been popular on social media lately.
What?
For sure.
It was he's got a killer hairdo.
He does.
Yes, he has got
it's
the best. It's the best I've ever seen.
We like uniqueness and creativity. And I think you definitely remember David when you meet him and talk to him, and he's a great guy to talk to. But you'll remember him, and so that's fits right with what we're trying to do, right?
Yep, exactly.
You got to make your mark. And you know what? David's done it.
Yep.
Yes. All right, so minicamp is starting a couple days before the Meet the Fleet. That's happening on the 10th, right?
Yep, exactly. Starts this Monday on the 10th, and we'll go through the 14th, and then the players will be back out of town, and then they will be getting together again in San Antonio in January for the full training camp that all 8 teams will be together in San Antonio so that they can do some pregame or preseason games, some scrimmaging, that type of stuff without all of the travel and those things, so we can do it all together.
Oh, that's a pretty good idea, actually. Now,
Real good.
I mean, we're a little sad we can't come.
No.
Sure. It's a little far, but that actually makes a lot of sense now you put it that way, to get that kind of scrimmage, that preseason, so to speak, without actually having preseason games if everyone's in one
Exactly.
spot. So.
Now, is that the plan for the following seasons, or just because it's the inaugural season, they're going to do this way, and then after that?
I've been saying this a lot lately. Let's get through one.
Yes.
Let's get through one. So I don't know what the plan's going to be in the future. I don't know if the league is completely sure. San Antonio is going to be a great place. Oh, I can't believe I just said that.
Oh.
San Antonio is going to be a great place. It's going to be a great. It's going to be a great place.
We're going to edit that out.
Exactly. Thank you. Cut. But I think it's going to be a perfect opportunity with the facilities that they have there.
Right.
For the entire league to be there. It's centrally located, so it's pretty easy for everybody to get to. I would love to host here in San Diego at some point. I think most of the coaching staffs and players would love to come to San Diego for training camp, likely. So we'll see if we ever get to that. I would certainly raise my hand and volunteer to do that if it comes down to it.
That'd be great. Maybe just different location every season. Right? A little thinking ahead.
Yeah.
Hey.
We heard innovation right before our ears.
Right.
But and so about next week though, starting on the 10th, those are closed, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yep, that's really the first opportunity that our players are going to be meeting their coaches, their position coaches, meeting Coach Martz, getting the playbook in their hand, the walkthrough. It's a lot of medical, a lot of sort of, nothing all that exciting.
First day of school.
Right, exactly. They're going to get playbooks. They're going to spend some time. They're going to do some really basic walkthroughs. No equipment. I mean, it's really basic, and so but it is not going to be open.
Okay.
Just because I think we're still kind of feeling out what the process is going to be, but. I think access will definitely be something that we look at as the team returns back for the season, and so that'll be a good time where we can get some media out at practices. We can start to share some of that with season ticket holders. So, of course, all that ultimately falls on our general manager, Dave Boller, and Coach Martz, but they've been great and easy to work with, and I'm sure we can find some times that it'll work.
Nice. We're looking forward to seeing what is released on that. We actually got a chance to meet Dave real quick when he was walking out, when we were walking in. He seems like a really good dude.
He's a jolly fellow.
That's a good way to describe him. Yeah. I was going to say ball of energy, but jolly fellow I like better. Yeah. He's been great.
I was like, hey, we're the Shipyard guys. And he was like, okay. You guys, I can't get away from you.
He's surprisingly active on social media, actually.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, I was kind of shocked, but he's all over it. So I don't know. We have to sit down with him and work on his choice of hashtags because he's decided to create some of his own. But hey, why not? We'll let it go for now. But eventually, we're going to pull that in a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I'm a little worried we maybe got him in a little bit of trouble this week.
Joe, you.
Because I was going through the Fleet's Facebook page, as I tend to do, and buried deep down, probably 3 pages down, someone had asked a question about our guy Donnell Pumphrey from San Diego, the all-time NCAA leading rusher, and Dave responded. He's like, "We've been in contact with Donnell all season."
He sure did. He sure did.
And I was like, this is important, and no one has seen it, and therefore I kind of put it on blast. And
you did, absolutely,
and I'm sure I'm very appreciated for that.
And you know what? I think what I can say is that he's a fantastic player.
Yep.
And it would be fantastic to do something with him, but we're not in a position to even go there yet.
Right.
And so really, again, I'll go back to the league. Part of the opportunity for players here is to get back to the NFL. He's already in the NFL.
That's true.
And so he has an obligation there, number one and first, and we're going to honor that. And so there's really not a whole lot of conversation that we can even have until that obligation is complete.
Sorry.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And I actually had a question logistically as far as player allocation. Is he allocated to?
I have a question too, sir.
Well, you can
only outside of the footprint.
We'll get out. We'll do Pumphrey Watch 2018 is officially on hold, and Smithy, you go.
Speaking of obligations, has there been any, if you know, any contact between like any of the executives in the NFL to the AAF? Like, hey guys, can you not talk to any of our players? Has there been any? I don't want to say friction, but any like, hey guys, you know,
I'm not aware of any conversations like that, and I wouldn't be.
Okay.
What I would imagine, which is always a difficult thing, assuming or imagining, is that Bill Polian has a long history in the NFL.
Right.
We've got a lot of people that have been involved with the NFL. There's a lot of mutual respect back and forth.
Right.
And so I think it would be safe to assume that we are going to operate when it comes to players with mutual respect for the NFL, and certainly not here to step on anybody's toes, or we're not competing with the NFL. We've said it before. We're a complement to the NFL, so we're not here trying to poach players or get players from the NFL over here. We're here as a complement to the NFL and an opportunity for players to be seen and then go back to the NFL and give the players another opportunity and another showcase. And so I don't think there's been that conversation, but I also don't think it's probably needed.
Yeah, and that's the impression that I got too. But I have seen some rumblings like, hey, how's the NFL going to feel about it? Like, I don't think it's that way. Yeah, I think, as you said, there's that mutual respect between the two leagues.
Yeah, we can certainly watch players and be aware of players, but we're not out trying to talk to players and trying to talk them out of playing in the NFL.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely not. No way. Yep.
Goal number one is getting them to the NFL, showcasing them here while putting
get them the reps that they normally wouldn't get.
Yeah.
And while they're here, focusing on their wellness, trying to make sure that if they have a year left of school, that we can put some scholarships together and get them through that year and get them their degree, preparing for life after football, and certainly encourage them to get back to the NFL. And that's part of our role here with the players, and that's why you have Troy Polamalu, and that's why you have Hines Ward and Jared Allen and Justin Tuck, and that's what those guys are watching out for and helping that process.
Nice.
And so we certainly all respect that process and want to make sure that we're doing the best we can for our players.
Cool. So we'll touch on this briefly. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but today, it's been a big news kind of all around spring ball world. The XFL announced their cities, and then there's a new league that popped up that's got Ricky Williams and I think a couple other names associated with it called the Freedom Football League. I don't know if you saw that pop up today.
I saw the name, but that's all. I hadn't heard that was coming, and I saw that. I didn't even see what cities or what anything about it.
I tried to go and look at the website, and it was blocked by my IT department's malware.
Oh,
thing.
okay,
So
nice.
I think,
Great.
But from the limited
Web browsing at work. I think the
Serbian
IT
IP
department
address.
is onto something. Yeah, good for them.
But I can't. There's very little information other than the one interview right now, and from what I heard, supposedly they're trying to spin up it in 2019 somehow. But
my
there's a
goodness.
San Diego team. I don't know, Warriors. Who? Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. So
Yeah, I mean, you know what?
I mean,
This is-
everyone's excited about.
I'll tell you what,
right
it is
now.
the same answer for the XFL or any other league or potential league or anything else that's going on. We're going to focus on what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to focus on providing a fan experience. We're going to focus on being involved in the communities that we're in, and we're going to focus on making sure that the product we're putting on the field is a good one. And I think as long as we stick to those things, particularly in this first year, and make sure that we push forward, we're not going to get too worried. We have enough work to do
Yeah.
to get launched for the spring that honestly, there's not enough time to figure out what some other league is doing or what they're going to do or not going to do or speculate this or that.
Right.
Honestly, we're focused on what we're doing. We have a very clear picture of what we want to do, and we're going to stick to that, and the chips will fall where they may.
Yeah, with only 2 months to go before the first game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's full steam ahead.
It is a
ahead.
scary thought.
Yeah.
It is a scary thought. I've got on my phone every day, it stares at me, 65 days left and counts down every day when I open my eyes in the morning, which gets me out of bed very quickly when you see that number going down. And you figure you got the holidays in there, and that clock is going to roll very fast. For us in the front office, working on the business side, and for football operations, and for our players and coaches, it's going to go very quickly. So the good thing is, as a fan, you don't have to wait much longer. It's coming.
true.
Yep.
That is very true.
We're excited, and it's cool seeing the excitement grow around San Diego, seeing it grow just on the internet, but also seeing the billboards go up.
Billboards, yeah,
Yep.
thank you.
Right. Yep.
So it's all happening. It's getting super exciting every day. There's new stuff. Where at the beginning we were like, we're just chomping at the bit. Now every day there's just a swarm of information.
I remember
coming
one
at
of the
you. So-
first times we talked,
Yeah.
and that's what it was. Boy, we're so excited,
Yes.
but we don't know what to talk about. There's we get one little tidbit, and we have to talk about it and expand on it and go and go and go. And so you're right. Now things are rolling pretty good, and so we have some additional stuff and give you guys something to comment about, as long as those are positive comments.
Yes. Which,
Good segue, sir.
Great.
So of course the uniforms came out last week.
Aren't they great?
Man,
Aren't they great? We've had such the feedback nationally, locally, on social media and otherwise has just been so fantastic. People are so excited. The uniforms look great. The helmets look great. Everybody, some people, the non-professionals, I guess, have their opinions.
Yeah, of course. They are.
But everybody, for the most part, is very excited for everything to come together and see it on the field and see it on the player. So I've heard nothing negative.
not a
question
thing.
for you. If you happen to have heard anything negative from one of those non-professionals, did a name pop up at all, or that you may have heard?
That would require me listening to podcasts,
Yes.
and of course, I don't have any time for that. So,
No.
I don't want to point any fingers. I mean, that really nothing good comes of that.
No.
But I have heard a rumbling here and there. Somebody's got some opinions about the helmet should be this or the helmet should be that. But really, let's face it.
Yeah.
I had heard that there was this gigantic national poll about the uniforms and the helmets, and somehow San Antonio was ranked number one, which seems, and we were number 3, which seems really weird because all of the other polls that I've seen, we were typically the first. Orlando was up there a little bit, San Antonio was up there a little bit, but we were usually number 1, and so it was kind of shocking to see this, but I think it was very scientific the way they did it. So I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something.
All right, everybody,
Okay.
let's settle down. All right, of course, we're referring to our uniform critique and rankings from last week, where I may have been a little bit harsh on the helmet.
A little.
Just a tad.
A little.
Just a tad.
Is it a subjective little?
I am just saying Gold and chrome, those aren't our colors, man.
That's true.
Yellow and gray are our colors.
That's true. That's true.
And that's all that needs to be changed, and I would be one happy camper.
You're entitled to your opinion, certainly, and nothing's been fully produced yet.
Okay.
So there is some opportunity, I guess. Although I would not expect much change.
Well, I will say this in that realm is that what everyone on the internet has seen is what I'm looking at in this cardboard cutout right behind me,
right?
Which is a yellow and gray matte-looking helmet.
It does look matted, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Not sparkly. I hope the power doesn't go out.
It'll just have a massive.
It'll cut episode 7 short.
It's getting serious here.
Yeah.
But
helmet
and what
is a
we
serious
saw at the uniform reveal, which by the way was an awesome event.
Thank you.
Super fun.
Yep. All right.
We actually
should
met
do
a
more.
couple. We got to meet a couple listeners.
We should do an away jersey reveal party.
Yeah, we know we have at least. Oh, that's a good point. We know
I
we
would
have
be
it.
very happy for that away jersey to be revealed to me too.
Yes.
Oh,
So as soon as that happens,
That
then,
was one of the
then we'll
things
be
I
in
was
good
gonna
shape.
say.
Yeah. No, I have not seen alternates or alternate helmets or a wager. I haven't seen any of that yet. What you've seen is what we've seen.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's in process and people are working on it. But
I would just like to note to the designers who may be listening. I know we have at least 2 listeners because we met them at the launch party.
That's true.
Matte is better than shiny. That's all.
all right. All right. Well, I can say this, right? So
That's Matt with an E at the end.
Yes.
So one side is some expectation, right? Because you saw some stuff online and you saw some pictures. So the expectation was one thing, and then what you saw in person maybe wasn't that. And was it sparkly? Was that what you referred to? Something
Sparkle.
Spark.
I think Fleet Dazzled is the hashtag that emerged.
Dazzled. Okay, so I don't know if I'd go as far as to say it's sparkly, but it may not have been exactly what your expectation was. And so that's probably where our error was trying to make sure that the expectation and the actual product were exactly the same. And so I think that's part of new again.
Yes, yeah.
And
I think it's
we'll see how
partial-
it comes
yeah.
out.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. It's definitely on me. I know I'm in the minority.
I think it's
Doesn't
great as
mean it-
is.
Yeah. So
And most other professional.
I ranked it high, but I did dock it a point because of the.
And I'm
You did.
pretty
Sparkles.
confident that nobody had thought about it as much as I had before we actually saw it. So I kind of have a tendency
Exactly,
to get myself
yes.
worked out. So
You had a few mock-ups. I think
I
you were just
did do-
disappointed that we didn't use one of the mock-ups.
yeah,
and
I
go off
even
that,
showed them to
and
you. I was
so-
like, hey guys, this is what it should be.
It sounds to me like it's getting a little personal,
That's possible.
and somebody had some hurt feelings,
Very
and
possible.
they took it out on the uniforms and the helmet. Maybe.
He's a big guy, but he has
just-
tiny feelings.
All right, let's move
Stop
on. Guys, we have a rivalry brewing.
We do.
Now, let's go back to the roots of this rivalry with San Antonio. It actually, in its infancy, occurred on one of our tweet threads,
It did, which was hilarious.
which was hilarious. It was we didn't know what to talk about, so we tweeted out to our one follower at the time, "Hey, what should we podcast about?" And somebody asked, it was James Matthews 360. He asked, "Who's the San Diego Fleet rivalry going to be?" And the San Diego Fleet Twitter account almost immediately jumped in and identified San Antonio as our rivals.
You can tell who had access to posting on that account at that time.
Would it be anybody in this particular room?
It may be.
I think that was when I was one of 3 employees here at the time, or 4 maybe, and I was doing a little social media moonlighting, I guess. But I had a very clear understanding from day one who I thought the rival was going to be, and some reasons why. So I've certainly have tried to live up to that and make sure that everybody else understands. There has been a misunderstanding, I will say.
Oh, well, let's clear this up.
And the thing I do want to clear up is that in no way are my feelings about San Antonio and about Vic Gregovitz and the president of the Commanders, or Commodorks, or whatever you guys call them. I like it.
Commandorks.
Commandorks. All right, there we go. Commandorks. In no way is that a reflection on how I feel about our military.
Right.
All branches of our military. And so I made a comment that was, and it was really more of a statement of fact, that they are an Army Air Force town. There's a large base there. We are obviously in San Diego, a Navy and Marine. Now, of course, there's other branches and other members, veterans and active, in this area and in that area. So I don't mean, I'm just saying in general, large terms. I just think there's some natural rivalry there between
100%. It's like
between Navy, between Army.
College
Exactly.
football is one of the biggest rivalries you can
Exactly.
have.
So that was really where that comment came from. It was not, I don't like San Antonio because of that.
Correct.
Right.
It was just, I think the way I said it, obviously it sounded that way, but I do want to clear that up here.
Yeah.
That was certainly not my intent. I think hopefully we've talked about it a little bit before that was not the intent. But
Sure, and I think to me it's very clear that it's very much that kind of brotherly,
Right.
like, us versus us.
yeah,
type
like we're
of
the big brother,
situation.
they're the little brother.
Yeah.
Right, exactly like
Exactly.
that. Exactly like that.
You knuckleheads giving them noogies.
Yeah,
and stuff
exactly.
like that. So
And as a veteran myself, none of
the-
it sounded off to
of
me.
the-
Okay, great.
Like,
veteran of
great.
the Air Force, by the way.
And I have to admit, our Justin Kirk, our vice president of ticket sales and service, is an Army veteran.
That's right. I remember.
Okay,
Now that
so
you say
so
that.
certainly, we just actually offered a job to a veteran from the Coast Guard, and so we are certainly veteran friendly from an employment standpoint, and as the season will go on, you'll see a lot of different types of military friendly that we're going to be, whether it's through active duty or retired families, charities. We're going to be very, very involved in the military community and with all branches. And so,
Very
if
cool.
we lose, which we won't, but if we were to lose, I'd
You're on the
gladly,
hook now.
I'm gladly will make a donation. In San Antonio, and I'll say it here. I'll actually make the same donation back in San Diego, even if if I pay over there, I'm definitely going to pay here too. So we'll do 500 in both places.
Nice.
I bet Greg won't do that.
Oh,
Or
did
Vic.
you hear
Now
that,
he's
Greg?
got
Oh,
to.
man.
Yeah,
We're just
I bet
throwing down the gauntlet.
Yeah, there's no way he's going to do that. He's too cheap to do that. So
Well, I'm sure he listens to the show, so we'll find out.
Yeah.
yeah, right. He will now.
Probably writing an email right now.
Right.
Oh, wait. Maybe tomorrow.
Secure budget.
He came out with this video the other day. I think it was yesterday, actually, and it was long, very long. And
Well-produced video.
The surprising part was there was a little reading going on. That wasn't the surprising part. The surprising part was that Vic can read. That was the surprising part. I was shocked.
There's our
the air horn,
soundboard air
yeah.
horn. Yeah.
I will say that my response video was one take at 5 or 5:30 in the afternoon or in the evening. So it was after
Loved
a full day, and it was one take, and I didn't have to read a script. I didn't have to take time writing it.
The only thing
know.
I thought would have made that better is if it was you kicked back in your desk with your feet up, maybe like snacking on some peanuts as you delivered that line. Just,
If I was ever at my desk, I would do that.
yeah, that's true. But
So has there been any talk about, predictions of the final score? Are we talking blowout here?
You know what? I have not had this conversation with Coach Martz. Dave Boller, our general manager, certainly knows this, and I will be speaking with head coach Mike Martz. But I would like to take every advantage to score as many points as possible. And Coach Martz is a good guy to have on your side when you're trying to
so.
score points.
Well, he revealed today that he's unleashing a hybrid of the greatest show on turf and Air Coryell.
Which I absolutely love because I'm like one of
Offense.
the biggest Don Coryell fans ever.
Yeah.
I cannot believe he's not in the Hall of Fame.
So we're going to score a lot of points.
That sounds like
That's-
probably the greatest offense ever assembled in the history of football.
Yes.
right. And
So come on out to a game.
I don't think we need to take our foot off the gas
No.
because we're in San Antonio
Oh, no.
and beating them badly. I mean,
There is a saying.
It is what it is.
When you get
Look.
to San Antonio, the fastest thing you're trying to do is to get to Louisiana.
there you go. Exactly. I'm just so happy that we play twice. I mean, we'd go undefeated if we played them every week, but we play twice in a 3-week period.
Ooh.
And so not only are we going to go to their place in their first ever game and beat them, but then they're going to come back here 2 weeks later and get beat again.
Oh my
So I mean, they're 1-2 through 3 weeks at the best possible record they could have.
Good luck
And we're
coming
going to be
back from
sitting
that.
we're going to be sitting at 3-0. Now, luckily, half the league makes the playoffs, so they might still get in.
But we will
it's
have a
going to
better
be
record, and that'll be hosted here.
Exactly.
Yes.
They're going to have a rough start to the season. Yeah, rough start
They
to the
will.
season
I'm
for
looking
sure.
at some demoralized San Antonio Commandorks after the third week.
I hope it's painful.
Yes.
I hope
gonna
it's
be.
painful.
It is going to be hands down painful.
And really, I'll expound a little bit on the rivalry itself and the genesis is.
Yes.
San Antonio and us as franchises have been going back and forth in a bunch of different categories that Vic and I deal with on a daily basis. So Ticket sales have been going back and forth. Social media followers and engagement has been going back and forth. Merchandise has been going back and forth. We're first, they're first. We're second, they're first. Like back and forth and back and forth. And so some of this has started to develop after, us being first a lot.
Right.
And then them starting to sort of sneak up into the picture. And then all of a sudden one day they're first for a day. And so we've had that back and forth. And that's been a little painful, honestly, but it has led to my lashing out about San Antonio and about Vic and really wanting to beat them so badly. So,
well, we're all about it.
It's a worthy goal, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. There's been hanging off your coattails, so to speak. It has expanded into the podcast universe where we have been feuding a little bit with the San Antonio podcast.
That's fantastic.
I mean, it's fantastic for us because they spend half their episodes talking about our podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, we'll take that.
I'm surprised that they can get the signal out of their parents' basement. Right,
That's true.
Which is
wasn't there? Yeah, wasn't
that's
there
where
one of
they
those?
accused us of podcasting
Right.
from. And actually, Mom's basement's looking a little bit better
is.
today.
Yeah, right,
than it typically does.
It's a little warm, but
Right.
it's much, much roomier.
Yeah, it's a toasty. It's a cozy.
But I'm going to go with
Cozy
the fact
littles.
that they are actually broadcasting, and they're just trying from a basement. And they're just trying to divert people's attention and say you guys are. It's kind of like the old smelted delta thing, I mean, it's like, yeah, they're the same way. They're blaming you first.
And I think they say that they broadcast from the basement of the Fajita Bowl or something like that.
I think I have heard that is.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure what
don't
the
think it
situation
The
is.
toilet bowl, right? The basement of the toilet bowl. Sorry, that was a bad one. It's getting late.
It's getting late.
And it's raining. It's
Raining. We're just going off on tirades.
Yes. There's an edit button, right? Where's the cough button?
Yeah, we're gonna edit this whole thing out. But all right. We're back.
We left?
We did leave for a moment,
Oh.
but we're back. We're still recording. So
We changed the uniforms. The helmets are different. Everything's different.
Yes.
Yes.
I had a
Didn't take
frank
long. It was easy.
conversation.
Yep. Paid me under the table, and the helmets are different.
Done deal.
Have to make Joe happy, guys. It's very important. But all right, so we put out the question. I let the Shipyard group on Facebook know ahead of time that we were coming over to the stadium.
I like studios.
The new Shipyard studios here at SDCCU Stadium.
Work out rent, I think. Right?
Yeah, but no, it's supposed to work the other. Okay, we'll pay you guys. That's fine.
There should be plenty of room now that team that remains to be unnamed left.
That's true.
So
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about either. Smith's just over here talking.
Yeah, right.
and you're the chatty one.
So we put up an open forum. We're saying if there's any questions you'd like to ask President Jeff Garner, have at it. So the very first question we got is, what's going to be the theme song for the Fleet? And I don't know. We need something to get the crowd going. That comes from O'Brien McQuaid.
Well, that is a great question. That is certainly one of the things that's on the list. Not just a theme song. We certainly do want something to help represent the brand and represent the players and the staff and the experience here. Whether that is a song that's already in existence and popular, or whether that's something we create separately remains to be seen. We're having those conversations, but also just the conversation of the experience and the fan experience in the stadium and what that's going to feel like. And so music has a lot to do with that. Right. And so trying to figure out what type of music we're going to play.
Sound effects too.
Sound effects, how diverse that music will be, and it goes into video boards, and it goes into everything, really, the artwork and the different branding around the stadium. And so, I think what we're really trying to create a very unique atmosphere, and particularly a unique experience. And so, this is a huge stadium, and so we've got our challenges trying to make it feel a little bit smaller and making the atmosphere feel a little bit smaller. And that's me coming from Penn State with 107,000 seats,
Wow, yeah.
and still a huge stadium here. And so we've got some ideas that we're working through right now to try to shrink the stadium a little bit, and the concourses and the parking lots, and so make it a lot of fun, but just make it feel a little bit tighter, and music and video and the signage and artwork that we're going to do is all going to play a part in what it feels like to go to a game here. We want that to feel unique. So I don't know what the theme song is.
Is there any specifics on the parking lot tailgating type situation that you can reveal at this time, or is it still in?
There will be
in works?
tailgating.
Okay.
There will be tailgating.
Breaking!
Yeah. I guess it shouldn't be a surprise, but honestly, it has been a little bit surprising at how excited everyone is to tailgate.
Tailgating in San Diego
Is huge.
is huge, and it's the best in the country. Literally from back in the day, San Diego State games, like there's nothing quite like tailgating at this stadium, and for some reason there's something about it. It's the best.
Oh, even back in the day when the Padres still played here.
Yep.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, so I can't wait to create a tailgating environment. We just have to make sure that we provide a safe environment, and that we realize that our fan base is diverse, and so not everybody wants to tailgate, not everybody wants to have a drink, and so families, kids, make sure that we're all respectful to each other, and I think as long as we can do that and operate that way, and our fans can operate that way, then I think we can continue to to have tailgating and have a good time and do some fun stuff. We're certainly going to go into it with the mindset that we are encouraging tailgating.
Yeah.
We're I guess I'll rephrase that we are encouraging responsible tailgating, and that we want everybody to have a good time, but do it
That's
safely.
important.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it because, like we've seen with the San Diego Gulls hockey team. This is a brand new San Diego born sports franchise.
Yes.
And so everybody here is going to be a Fleet fan.
Nobody grew up an Alliance fan of some team in their hometown, right? So everybody can be a Fleet fan, and so I think we're going to drive that home too, and hopefully tailgating will be one step in that, and then obviously the atmosphere that we create inside the stadium, almost like a collegiate, almost like a soccer. I mean, just a really enjoyable, fun, loud environment. We really want to be able to provide a home field advantage. I saw that firsthand at Penn State, what a whiteout can do and how loud it is. And I mean, that's been recognized as one of the best, football experiences in the country. I mean, the building would shake. I mean, it's amazing what that did to opposing teams, and just the fear and how nervous those players would be. You could see it in warm-ups, and then how hard it was to communicate. So we want to make sure that we provide that. That's tough to do in a stadium this big.
It is.
And so we have our challenges to do that. But I think I think we've got good fans here. It seems like the excitement's here to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's growing. I see it. It's happening. So
It's definitely picking up steam.
Every couple of days, I take an Uber just to see if the driver knows what the Fleet are.
Yeah.
Because when I first got here, before my car got here, I was Ubering everywhere. Nobody had any idea what the Fleet was. I don't know what that is. What are you talking about? And now, probably 50% of the Ubers I get in, the driver knows. And so it's picking up. Now it's got to be 10 for 10 until we're all the way there. But the message is starting to get out, and like you said, the billboards are getting up. We're on TV. We're on the radio. We've got a lot of other things planned. We're trying to get to as many events as we can. Now the team's going to be in for a couple days. We can do the Meet the Fleet event. It's going to continue to pick up and snowball as we head into February.
Nice.
Awesome. All right, ready for some more?
Yeah, let's
That
do
was
it.
one question.
That was one question.
This next one.
Oh, Brian, I hope you got what you were
You
looking
should see
for
our
out of that
staff
one.
meetings. Our staff meetings go for days.
All right, next question.
All right, I'm going to try to condense this down because you've actually answered two of these previously.
I'm efficient.
So
I like to be
fantastic.
efficient.
So the first question is from Diego Giuseppe, and I apologize for the last name.
Good luck.
Viosuso
I think you got it.
says just a couple general questions. Will there be a set of away uniforms or possibly alternate third uniforms this season?
I don't have a 100% answer for you. I would like to think we'll have an away uniform, but I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
And so my guess is the likelihood of an alternate this year is pretty unlikely. So I don't see that happening. I could be surprised, but I don't see that happening. That's really something that's being determined by the league.
Totally.
And so we'll find out, but I don't expect to see an alternate or a third this year.
Cool. Fair
There's
enough.
a part two to that guy was with the TV.
Oh yeah, will the Fleet games be broadcast locally on TV, or just available on the app? Which we actually do already have some info, but we just don't know exactly the times.
Well, there's a couple different things. So the info that I think is out there right now is that we have a relationship with CBS,
Right.
and so the first game of the year and the championship game will be on CBS nationally, on CBS the network. And then the sports network will carry basically a game of the week.
Cool.
And they will select different games, different Alliance games, and have a game of the week each week. We are currently looking for a secondary national partner.
Ocho.
Yeah, exactly, right?
No, I think
With
specifically
dodgeball.
what he was asking here was if it's going to be broadcasted locally, like on a
Right.
Fox 5 or
Right. Yep.
Yep.
And so once we get through that, the primary CBS relationship, we're looking for a secondary relationship, which who knows, could be an ESPN, could be a Fox Sports, who knows. But so we're working through that, and then we basically have the local rights. So any of the games that are not broadcast on any of those other partner stations. My guess is anywhere from 4 to 7 games potentially could probably be on locally. We're in the process of having several conversations with several different groups right now. I can tell you that there's a lot of excitement behind it. There's a lot of people that want to be involved with it.
Nice.
One of the things is that because it will be streaming through the app, we are actually producing the game. And so for the stations, it's a little bit easier than necessarily having to carry out an entire production crew. We can hand them a pretty much finished product that they'll be able to broadcast. And so awesome. I would expect to see a local TV deal in the next month probably that we can announce. And being able to get that out to people so that they can follow the games. And that follows with radio, too. We're same situation with radio. We're having a lot of conversations. They're very good. We're getting close. Right. And I think we'll be able to have all 10 games on the radio and be able to announce that fairly soon as well.
Awesome.
Great. All right. Next question is not so much of a question, more of a demand. Did we pass one over?
I wasn't done, Joe.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were done with that one.
Goodness.
Just trying to move it along.
Man,
Jeez. Rushing through.
sensitive. It's like
You used to pack up your books before the bell, didn't you?
Well, it's like I'm talking to a couple of San Antonians here.
Sorry, I read so slow.
Just go back.
That would fit with San Antonio.
So the final portion of Diego's questions is there going to be a quarterback allocation draft every year?
That's a good one.
Yes.
You know, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I know that the reason for the quarterback draft or allocation this year was to basically make sure that the 8 best quarterbacks were the 8 starting quarterbacks. And to make sure that there was some competitive balance and to make sure that we had quarterbacks in this league that could help sort of propel the league forward offensively. So I think that was the main premise of it.
Right.
And I think that was accomplished, actually. The talent has been spread out pretty good over the league. Obviously, we had the best talent, but
Totally.
It's been spread out. So I think that has helped. I don't know that would be warranted in future years,
Right.
Particularly with 3-year contracts on all these players. So we should all have our quarterbacks. The question would be, how do you handle quarterbacks that are coming in that maybe don't fit in a collegiate footprint, and so they're not anybody's first right. Basically, what happens is it falls to your NFL or CFL experience, and then each of our teams has rights to certain NFL and CFL teams. So if you're not in the collegiate footprint, it falls to those. And making sure that the competitive balance remains and that it's still a fair contest. I wouldn't expect it, but it could be possible, I suppose.
I actually had a kind of a related question in that vein as far as inter-team trading. I haven't seen that discussed or the details released of that at all. Is there
Let me know if you do.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Oh,
sensitive
wow,
subject.
there's a big thunder blast right now. If you didn't hear it.
I honestly, I have not heard that discussion either. Okay. Now, just so everybody understands that 99.9% of my responsibility lies on the business and business operations side. Football operations is left to our general manager and our head coach. Usually how it should be, right? And so as we get far down into the depths of players and what we're looking for offensively or defensively, I can rely on my experience playing college football, but I'm not the one making those decisions, and so it's a little tough to do that. So I'll remain focused on what I'm focused on. Let the football guys focus on what they're focused on.
We'll have to get Dave on to clear that one up.
We got to call Dave.
I don't know if I can allow that. Actually, I might have to sit next to Dave when he's here.
Oh, okay.
A pinch under the table.
Nope. Kill it.
Nope. You said you could edit, right? All right.
So
Dave can come on then.
So the next question is more of a statement from Scott Koenig.
And I don't believe that this is an honest question that a listener sent in. It sure seems like it was placed here and planted as a question. But go ahead, read your question.
No, Scott's a real person. I've spoken with him. But he just says, make the helmets matte, no more disco ball.
Interesting. How about that?
Yeah, so sorry. Anyway,
Please rewind this podcast to hear all of my
Hear all
answers related to the helmet and the uniform.
but I'm going to insert for Scott an actual question here.
Okay.
Which is something that I've been curious about, and you alluded to in the barbecue podcast that you're on. I apologize, guys. I don't remember your name off the top of my head. But I'm super curious if there's anything you can talk about related to the tech and app that is being installed in the stadium and what we're going to be seeing coming off the field while we're watching the game.
Sure. Well, some of that's in progress too, right? And that will change and evolve and be a little bit different as we go. But we've had a telemetry team here and an engineering team that came out to do a site visit. They were here really looking at receivers for the chips that will be in jerseys and all over players and the ball and all that kind of stuff. And we'll be able to feed that biometric information back into the app. And so it's one of the sort of unique, cool things about the mobile app that we're going to have, and definitely a reason to, as soon as that comes out, which could be as soon, at least in a first version, could be as soon as December.
Oh.
Obviously, it's got to be out before the season starts. And I think there's some reasons for us to get it out in December. It will, like most technology, continue to evolve and have updates and different versions. But it'll be something really unique that you'll be able to see some biometric information and some tracking information basically on the players during the game. So it really becomes a true second screen experience, even when you're at the stadium, that you can be watching the game and also be following with a lot of additional information. And whether you're at the couch or you're on the couch or you're at the game, you'll be able to do that. And I was a little worried, honestly, at first, because the way I was sort of picturing it was everybody staring down at their phones and a touchdown being scored, and 3 seconds later, everybody standing up and cheering. And it was like one of my worst fears. But I actually don't think that's going to happen. I think you're going to have a lot of people that will treat it as a second screen. It's going to be an addition to what you're watching.
Okay.
And I think people are really going to get to utilize it in a cool and unique and different way than they've done with any other sports.
Yeah.
It'll ultimately lead to some different ways to interact with gaming. Fantasy,
Right. Yep.
and really change how you do those kind of things. So it's going to be really awesome, I think.
I am really looking forward to that, especially the fantasy element. I'm a almost problematic fantasy football player, but
Is that what your wife says?
yeah. Oh, well, girlfriend. That's another.
Hey now.
I asked because I think I knew the answer, and it probably has something to do with the fantasy football addiction. Yeah.
Yeah.
I rarely play fantasy football, but I have a ring on my finger, so I'm just saying.
Correlation?
Yeah, maybe.
All right. We have one more question, and I think at that point we'll wrap it up. So why don't we
Okay.
bring it on home?
Well, this final question is from Peter Michael. Excuse the fact that he has two first names in his name.
Oh, right. It does get confusing.
Don't let that bias.
Right.
From Oceanside, California, huge LA Rams fan, but has come on board for the fleet, and he's wanting to know.
Season ticket holder.
He's a
Welcome
season
aboard.
Yep.
season ticket holder, and he wants to know, like with other teams, you get season tickets. Sometimes you get a little swag box or something like that.
Sure.
Is the fleet doing anything like that for season ticket holders?
So there will be, and there are additional benefits of being a season ticket holder that go well beyond the discount on ticket prices, well beyond having the same seat reserved for all 5 home games. There's going to be access to early pre-sales for our games, for playoffs. There's going to be events like having an hour with the players to get autographs and meet the players ahead. So we're going to do a lot of different things. Exactly what swag and what's going to happen here and there, it's hard to say at this point. But what I will say is that we value our season ticket holders. Particularly the season ticket holders we have as of now, because we know there are early adopters. They're the people that said, I'm going to be a season ticket holder and I'm going to commit to this team before I even know much about the team.
Right.
And so that's a special kind of fan. And so we want to make sure that we take care of those types of fans and we nurture those type of fans. And so we will definitely be taking care of them. What exactly they're going to get, there'll be a lot of experience type things.
Okay.
We'll get them some access type things and some exclusive things that just are happening for season ticket holders. I'm sure there'll be some swag in there of some kind. But I think the big thing to remember is that we're going to take care of them, and they mean a lot to us, and we realize and understand that, and we'll come through from a benefit standpoint.
Nice. All
Awesome.
right.
I got an email
Did you
the
hear
other
that,
day.
Peter? Stop texting me.
Yeah. And I did get an email the other day that was a discount code for the AAF online store.
Sweet.
So
Exactly.
it's already
One
flowing through.
example of
One
the
example.
benefit, right? We actually we have our single game tickets are going on sale at 10 a.m. on the 10th on Monday. And I think we mentioned that way early on tonight. But the other thing to mention is that season ticket holders get a discount. And so they're going to pay less for their single game tickets, and they can start buying on Saturday. Ooh. And so they're going to be able to buy the best seats at a reduced price because they've already made an investment as a season ticket holder in time and money and other things, faith. And so we want to make sure it's just another opportunity for us to reward them. And so that's up to them if they want to take advantage of that. But it's a chance for them to go into their account manager account and be able to pick from some different seats, get it at a discount. They want to bring their friends. They want to bring other people. But maybe they've got 4 season tickets and they want 2 extra for the opener and maybe 2 extra for week 10 and 4 for a different game. They can sort of mix and match those things. And so just another example of a benefit we're offering.
That's pretty awesome.
That's looking good.
Yes.
I think with that, we will wrap it up. Jeff, I just want to say thank you. If the way you guys have treated us is any indication of how this season's going to go, I think we're in for a really awesome experience because we could not be more appreciative and thankful for the access you guys have given us.
Our uniforms wouldn't know it.
I mean, not the helmets aside.
Right.
But I'm trying to be sincere.
I
here, man.
appreciate it. I have a hard time with feelings.
It got a little emotional. I was tearing
Guys.
up. But no,
Guys.
man, we are, the team's biggest fans. So we really appreciate everything, and we look forward to seeing how this all goes.
Well, I thank you guys. The support has been great, particularly so early on. And so that's fantastic. The fact that you even take your time to do this and put it together and talk about us. And it's just supporting the things that we're putting our blood, sweat, and tears into. So we really appreciate that. We tell our staff and talk amongst ourselves here all the time that if we're having fun, our fans are going to have fun.
Yes.
And so I think that's probably some of what you're sensing is that that's what we're here to do. And the more time, the more we enjoy it, you can't fake it.
No.
If you don't enjoy what you do and you're in a business like this, your fans will feel that, right? So we talk about it all the time. We're working in sports. I mean, there's a lot of jobs you can have. We get to work in sports. It's kind of like San Diego living in a place where other people vacation. It's kind of the same thing, right? I mean, I've had so many great things that have happened to me in sports and great venues and great games I've seen and people I've met. The best part, though, is being a part of a fan experience. And so, like, I've got a great Penn State story. A friend of mine from high school, right? So I had to show off and say, hey, I can come to the game. Great, I'll get you some tickets. And he brings his dad along with him. So I remember his dad from growing up, and his dad's a lifelong Penn State fan. And I was able to take him down pregame and put him on the field. And his dad almost started crying. I mean, his dad was so excited that he got the opportunity to be on the field. And he said, I never thought I'd ever be on this field. And so having an experience like that, that's what makes this all worth it. And so it's easy for us to have a good time, and it's easy to pass that along to our fans, and that's going to be our goal.
That is awesome.
Fantastic. We definitely appreciate it. And I think
take that, episode 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good luck. Good luck next week.
Good luck. That's right. Now we're just feuding with our own episodes.
We're going to have to get Dave on next week.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think Dave would trump me, yeah.
Well, I think that's going to just about wrap it up for today. We would like to thank our listener, of course, and our sponsor, thebeardclub.com.
I love thebeardclub.com.
Jeff, you seem to be lacking one beard. I don't know that we're going to be able to air this episode.
That was a November grow.
I feel like, when we first met you, we even
was a
commented,
November
we're like,
grow.
the beards on the front office are strong.
Yeah.
And now here you are, clean shaven.
I know, just for the month.
Very
A lot of
disappointing.
space on that face.
Well, Jeff, if you do feel like going to get some products to bring that thing back to your face, I would go to thebeardclub.com/best-deal-ever and get some quality beard care products to get that beard back on Jeff Garner's face. It's very, very upsetting in its current state. So, listener, thanks again. If you made it all the way to the end, we appreciate you. Find us on the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter.
But not MySpace.
At AOL.com.
At AOL.com.
Right? Yeah.
The
I got to
Shipyard.
find my disc.
Yeah, exactly.
Floppy disk. We, of course, are the boys at the yard. Our milkshakes are better than yours, and our honorary milkshake, Jeff Garner.
You're damn right they are.
Hey, come on, Jeff.
He told me I could do it. He told
I
me
did
it was
it.
okay.
I prearranged.
Right.
Smithy's very
Right.
sad he didn't get
Don't get whiny like San Antonio.
Oh, well,
Don't make
that
fun
was
of
the
us. Don't have a
greatest finish
rivalry.
ever then.
Come on.
And we're done podcasting.
Well, we got
Okay.
the honorary boy in the yard.
Honorary boy at the yard.
Yes.
Do I get honorary status?
Yes.
That's
You're the
fantastic.
honorary boy.
Edit.
Wow, nice.
Edit.
So,
This is how we usually end
You're
it.
going to run out of tape.
yeah.